Cause we're called Vibetalk, Facing the Lion podcast. Go check your favorite streaming platforms. Facing the Lions, Facing the Lions.
Good morning, and welcome to Think About Thursday, guys. I am here with you and so glad to be on this Thursday morning. Welcome. Well, we are in the middle of December. What's your weather like? Some places are snowy, some places are, burr cold, and we just love to be with you guys. So I'm glad that we're able to. So thank you in advance for checking Vibetalk out. We are Vibetalk Facing the Lion podcast. We are here, and I'm looking forward to spending this morning with all of you. As you all know, that Vibetalk is celebrating all of December. Do us a favor. Would you think about celebrating with us for the rest of the month? We're going to talk about a new feature that I'm not quite sure that you guys are aware of, but we want to put it out there for all of you. And as you know, we go streaming. And our stream is definitely live stream. What are we talking about? We are talking about Vibetalk After Dark. It's going to be live. And so as it's live, we are basically going to have it on here, right here where we are right now on our very own Facebook page. And as we come together, the Vibetalk Facing the Lion After Dark is a little different from our radio podcast that you're hearing this morning. It's still interactive, but what we want to make it is your podcast. All about how you're feeling, how you're thinking, dedications, music dedications. If you want to put a song in the dedications, we will take your request. It's only going to be for an hour, and you're going to be able to start the conversations on what you'd like to talk about. Relationships, laughter, love, and we've been on quite a few times now. And so as we're on, we are hoping that you will support that. Why? Because so many people this time of year are the loneliest people. You know, every day is a day for family, and I'm thankful for my family and friends, regardless of the situation, because I could not have friends or family. So that's what I'm thankful for today. I'm so thankful for gathering in such a platform this way. We have reached almost the end of 2023. I am so happy that we've had much support throughout the year. You know, each year for me is new beginning. And for me to have built this podcast means so much. It helps me to think about how I want to engage with the audience. And we are always looking different, but trying to remain the same, in that our project started out with reaching you, the people. And we want to thank you. So I'm thankful for that. Whoever is on, thank you, and thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Cheyenne, hi there. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Think About Thursday is where you guys are at with me. On Saturday night, here's what we're doing, guys. Saturday night, right here on Instagram and our Facebook and Instagram, we go live. And at that time, you guys are able to get on. I see you, Cheyenne. Stay with me. You're able to stay on with us. Morning to you all. Here's our sound. That's our sound. Or think about that's our sound for brain. Just help me out here. Good morning.
Good morning, Herb. Vibetalk After Dark.
Yes, my brain. And we are having a ball with that. If you guys haven't listened to it, I want to tell you something. As you listen to it, we want feedback from you guys. It's more of a laid back, chill. You're going to be able to call in, and our call-in number is 661-503-8993. We are working on an 800 number. So many choices. What are you thankful for this morning, Trish? What are you thankful for?
I am thankful that I'm not sick. Everybody else is getting the COVID in the house, but I'm thankful I'm not sick. And we're getting better.
I am hoping that everybody's feeling okay. That's what I'm hoping. That you and your family are going to be okay. Please keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that the COVID is still happening. Please keep that in mind. You know, because we get sidetracked. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I want everybody to be healthy. You know, I just want everyone to be healthy. It's kind of hard, though, when we're in mass of people, because we are out and about, but just take precaution. Even if you're not going out, just remember all the rules of how we wash our hands. And you know, it's hard because we are always touching things and things like that. So just be careful. Those of you who are sick, Trisha's family, we wish you well real soon. So we're talking about Vibe Talk. Trisha, have you had the opportunity, and now this is a question to put you on the spot, so be honest. Because usually Trisha's here because she's the co-host. But now, Trish, have you gotten a chance to listen to Vibe Talk After Dark?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So, honesty there. For you that have had the chance to listen and support Vibe Talk After Dark, it is the smoothest, chillest vibe. Okay. And we are really going to make a concrete effort in putting that radio show together. So send in your requests for songs. And the best thing that I can tell you is if you're following our pages for Instagram and Facebook, if you could leave a link for the Instagram, then you'll know when we come on. We didn't put a specific time because we know that everybody is living in different parts of our earth, and we respect that. If you see us live on Saturday, just come on in. Thank you guys for joining us here at Vibe Talk. I want to apologize for those of you, and I got to do it on air because I've been so busy. People have called me in my personal life, and I've been really busy. I spent 2 nights having a terrible, terrible headache that moved down into my neck, and I'm recuperating from that. For those of you who are still with us, don't go away because we have lots to think about this morning. And the idea of our going into Vibe Talk After Dark, we're going to talk more about that. We'll be right back.
Cause we're called Vibetalk, facing the lion podcast. Go check your favorite streaming platforms. Feel free to be interactive and tell us your stories. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, YouTube, and so much more. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Go give it a shot.
Vibe Talk After Dark. Saturday evening, come chill with us live on Instagram and Facebook. We're back. I want to thank Trish. Thank you, Trish. We dedicated one of our shows to Trish, my co-host, due to the music. You're so creative with this music. It just is so mind-blowing to me. And I've told this story before, but I want to tell it so that I give her equal share because she is our person behind the music who creates things and who creates ideas. And I said, Trish, could you make a theme for Vibe Talk After Dark? I love saxophone. Well, Trish is so creative that I'm going to show you two things that she did. This girl is incredibly creative. Just have a listen. How do you get to perfection? Anything I've ever asked you to do, Trish, you have done it to perfection. The only issue that I had with this, that I wanted it to be long enough because it was simply music to my ears. Thank you, Trish. Listen to the second version because I told her, can you make it a minute longer? Because I kept listening to it and I just fell right into what her creativity was. I could not come up with that in a million years, or even say to somebody, this is what I want to do. I love smooth jazz and I love saxophone and horns. She came up with this. Good morning and welcome. This is from our very own Trish. Trish, I got a couple questions. When you created this, how did you feel about hearing your sound?
I actually screamed with joy. I was like, did I make that?
Yeah, it sounds so beautiful. She didn't have to change it. And because we've had Trish, we would not do our podcast, our radio show, any justice because all the music for the themes, the closing is from her. The music that you will dedicate song to, we ask Facebook, please, please help us to do what we are trying to do, and that is bring people together where they can have a safe space, and we will mention it like this. We don't own the rights. So the songs that are dedicated, wow, little birdie just dropped by my window. That distracted me, but we're live. So we don't want you to copyright Trisha's sounds either. That is strictly prohibited. Uh, Good music, good sound. And Trish, you can put in your information about where they can find you for your music. We're so thankful to have been on air 3 years. November was really our turning point for the 3rd year mark, but we celebrated to bring us up to the new year. So we will have 3 years and counting. We do right now. I'm so thankful for the work that you all have done with me. Let's keep it going. Vibetalk After Dark, or Vibetalk Facing the Lion After Dark. We have started to hashtag that. anytime you have that hashtag, you're going to see us, okay? Because really, guys, I'm going to be straight up with you. You can't help but find us. We are all over the map. And let me tell you, Trish, how difficult has it been for you to work at getting Vibetalk to where we are right now?
I'd say it wasn't difficult, but I would say that it takes a lot of work to be consistent. That's what I would say.
Yes. And I love that word consistent because that's also thinking about your emotion. Um, and again, we're so thankful to you for being consistent, keeping regular, keeping our YouTube pages where people are seeing something new. Um, I honestly had to catch up with her. So I spent some time at home due to some personal circumstances, but I was able to get the work almost finished. We've got still more to go, but we want to keep up and be consistent with you guys. As you know, we are not on every day, but I promise you that you can hear something from us new every week. That's what we're trying to do. And why are we doing it that way? Because every day we used to be on. And I'm going to tell you, just like Trish said about the consistency, that is the point, ladies and gentlemen, to be consistent. And I ask you to be consistent. We've committed ourselves to doing this. You know, her and I, our minds, you know, I'm creative in that I can come and voice what I want to say. Trisha's been so creative, musically creating, doing all the projects. But the point is our consistency. You now know who we are. And if you don't know, I want you to think about getting to know us. Because we're Vibe Talk, Facing the Lion podcast. You've been listening to us, and if it's your first time, you can find us on your favorite streaming platforms. Spotify used to be where everybody was going now. Behind the scenes, I'm checking demographic, I'm checking what we're doing, how we're looking, where we can get better at. Now Spotify is not where people are finding us. They're finding us on the web. Just by simply typing in Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. I am proud of that. It's something to think about when you do hard work. And if any of you know about starting something and continuing to be consistent, you should be proud too. So we want to congratulate you guys for even noticing us, for the people that have put us on their pages, the people that have made mention of us. We're thanking you. Every day is something to look forward to. Think about that as we think about this Thursday. And our subject is talking about where we've been and where we're going. That's what I want you guys to think about. Where you've been and where you're going. Where are you headed for the next year to come? Life is full of uncertainties. We want you to get here, even if you take your time. We even realize that some of the people that I'm working with one-on-one will return to us. That has happened to us, hasn't it, Trish?
Yes, it has.
So we're not going to give up. We're not going to give up, but we ask that you stay consistent. And another thing that I like too about the our Vibe Talk, I love the fact that you and I can listen to it privately. We don't have to be all together. If you want to be in group, just come on live. We started out with that in like a session form for group. Everyone gets on. You're more than welcome to do that. And we're not going to stop that. So we want everybody to hear about us. Our reels. You know what's so crazy to me? Or not crazy, because we want to use the right emotion and feeling. What is so unreal to me is when I'm looking in the reels and one of our reels pops up. Have you had that happen yet, Trish?
Yes, I actually did have that happen.
How did you feel when that happened?
I said, "Oh, that's us."
Yeah. Were you excited?
Yes, I was, because it's so unexpected. I'm just watching the reels, and all of a sudden we pop up. I was like, "Oh, that's good. That's great."
Yeah. And you put in the work. What I'm proud of is the work that we have put in. There is no I in team. It has been challenging. It has been exciting. It has been um, fearful because a lot of us, we step out of our comfort zone to bring this to you. Um, Even in one-on-ones, when I talk to people, we're getting people who give us comments. We'll take the negative ones too. We don't mind, because that's going to challenge us. And everybody is not going to like us, love us, and some may even hate us. But for those of you who love us, we're willing to work behind the scenes, because we know that somewhere out there, someone is listening. Someone has started their morning, you know. Um, we've been challenged in 2023. Um, Oftentimes, Trish and I on Wednesday, we get together for a very brief meeting to think about what we want to do next. And as I tell you, Trish, you're just as much a part of Vibetalk Facing the Lion as I am. Your ideas, your creativity are great. We've had our own commercials. Trish, thank you so much for that. Um, I love, love, love that. And we want you to still get inspired. Still get inspired. Even if you have nothing to say, just be inspired. Because we live in a world of challenge. We must find inspiration. You know, just earlier I was talking about the little bird that was out of my window and walking. I'm inspired by that. Those are things I never take for granted. And Vibe Talk is asking that when you hear us, get to know us, our personalities, ask questions. We're going back to Vibe Talk After Dark, because this is what our discussion is going to be based on today. And then that Vibe Talk After Dark, you can come in, you can dedicate a song, you can talk about your weekend. We're going to keep it smooth and chill. That's the vibe. And that's what Trish has created. And I don't know, Trish, but you get inside of my head. It's like you can copy exactly what I ask. I don't know how you've been able to do that, but I appreciate it so much. So we want to let you know that Vibe Talk Facing the Lion After Dark is indeed affiliated with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion, our morning show. Now, Vibe Talk After Dark came in on the scene literally earlier this year. Am I correct, Trish, or no?
You are correct.
Because if I'm not, stop me. But these ideas that come in our head, I don't know about you, Trish, but I will go to bed at night and I will think about, okay, what can we do? And literally we come up with ideas. Is that how it is for you and your music, Trish?
Yes, it is. And sometimes I think so hard and I go to sleep and I dream about it and I wake up in the morning and I put it into reality.
Those are gifts. I can so appreciate that. You know, my son too, my youngest, had the idea, just, you know how your kids don't really like to tell you that they're listening? He said, Mom, he said, you should really think about doing something in addition to what you're doing. Make it uh, he just threw an idea out there. And I listened to you young people. And so it was also, Vibe Talk After Dark was also inspired by him as well. And I'm so thankful that I didn't tell him, I'll do whatever I want. Because sometimes you young people, you're right on. You're right on. We want you to know wherever we are. We've wanted you to have a safe space. We're by no means doctors. I am a certified professional wellness coach. We are regular people that stand on level ground. We want you to support us by way of your comments, by way of your being able to say if you liked uh, the morning show for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, if you like the idea of our Vibe Talk After Dark, because sometimes we'll scroll, but we're not really paying attention. I was telling my nephew the other day, I think it was yesterday, that I like inspirational reels. Why? Because those are the ones that stick in our soul. They find place right here in our inner souls of ourselves. They help us to do something. Have you ever saw a reel either on Facebook or Instagram and it has stuck with you for maybe days or months? Have you had that experience, Trish?
Yes, I have had that happen to me.
And you mind telling us which one it was? Of reels, if you can remember.
A particular one is there's this little girl. She has nystagmus like me, but she continues to inspire people. Like she's not afraid to go in front of the camera and let people see her condition. And her condition is worse than mine because she's blind. But she continues to inspire people, and I'm like, you know what? She encourages me every time I see her. She encourages me all the time to embrace my struggle and know that it's special too. In a way, it's special.
Mm-hmm. And for those of us that don't know the medical term, Trish, can you kind of let our audience know what it is that you're talking about, that you're dealing with?
Yes, I can. This medical condition, it deals with your eyes. So sometimes my vision is very blurry, and sometimes things that are far away pops up in front of me. It seems like it's closer than it is, and the close things seem farther than it is. And sometimes I see it as a superpower because I can look in different directions at one time. You know, that's positive for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I go through that. You know, I've been living with that for 22 years of my life.
I love that. That's why you're so inspiring to me, because I too have challenges being born with a birth defect. Um, it wasn't by chance that we met. And that's why this podcast is so inspiring, because one person that's struggling with something can bring out the best of another person that is struggling with something totally different, even similarities. So you are inspiring to me. You have challenged yourself. And for those of you who need to hear this today, stop doubting yourselves. Because if you challenge yourself, if you accept the challenge given to you every day, don't speak into yourself the negative. Look for the positive. Because if I can do it and Trish can do it, you can do it. Speak positive. You know, whatever condition that you are facing today, whether it be your own internal condition, your external conditions, in your environment, just know that you can, you will. Because why? You always want to win. If nobody has ever told you that you can't, every day is your possibility of choosing you can and you will. Now, how likely is it in two sides of the earth? I'm on the West Coast, Trish is on the East Coast? Or, Trish, I'm sorry, Carolina, that's South, right?
Yeah, Southeast.
Yes. How is it that two humans get together and create this idea? I am so proud. I'm so proud that Trish was willing and able. We've had our family struggles, we've had personal struggle, but Trish, you've really hung in there, and I'm so grateful. When two people think about something and have shared the same ideas or have had similarities, it can be such a wonderful thing. Now, if it weren't for Zoom, because we want to thank Zoom too, it may have never been possible. For those of you who are on your Facebooks, your social media. I want to give you something to think about. I'm not going to tell you what to do or how to do it, but I want to put together this program, this morning show, to inspire you to do something in your power. See, it's not the extraordinary thing that you do. It's the simplest thing that can move a heart. And that is what our Vibe Talk After Dark is doing. We're letting you come in instead of good morning and welcome. We're letting you come in and talk about what you want to talk about. Because you get, every time Trisha and I are on, we're talking about what the subject is for the day. Now, Vibe Talk After Dark is going to be your program. That's where you're going to speak into our show, empowering others by your words, your letters. You want us to read a letter. Trisha, did you put the, I got to get my brain together, guys. Did you put in the Instagram link?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay. We are live, guys, and we keep it 100% real here. Could you put that in for them? And then it'll be on our YouTube as well. So wherever you are, guys, because we know you guys are listening, because we get really big numbers. You know, when we think about 3,000 people liking one reel, that's awesome. Nobody now has to know. You know what's great about what Trisha and I do is nobody has to wonder where we are because we're streamed. And it's like, why didn't we think of that? Well, Zoom brought us to that. And don't you like it when you have something that you love, a favorite program, and you can stream it and knock yourself out because you have so many episodes? Well, that's what Vibe Talk is, but it's in reality. When you stream, if you feel some kind of way, which I will leave it blank for you, coming in and not really knowing us or not feeling like you're interested, have a listen. We've been so thankful. Spotify has sponsored us. Facebook has not had to interrupt us many times. And we thank you, Facebook, for having a listen to our program. Sometimes when we play music, they can mute us. That has happened. We want to make a radio show that makes people feel inspired and motivated so that whatever's going on in your life, you can say, wow, I want to come back. What we're trying to do with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast is make it 1 hour. Just I was going to bring that up at the next meeting, and we will still leave that on the table. We want you to get excited. We want you to feel, I don't know what happened. You still there, Trish? We want you to get excited. We want you all to know that Vibe Talk is all about being human. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's about passing positive vibe to the next person. We get out of ourselves. We not only get out of ourselves, but we learn to be stronger and braver than what we were the day before. We hope that if you've been with us for 2 or more years, even 1 year, that's what you got from that. We want you to be able to know that Vibe Talk is all about emotions, feelings. Vibe Talk After Dark still carries that same feeling, but we're doing it through song. We're going to do it through your dedications. We're going to do it through what is on your mindset. Keeping in mind, we're not doctors. We're not the average podcast, but you're going to be able to interact. You're going to be able to interact, call in, leave voicemail, text messages. We're going to be right back. We're going to be right back. We will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, as we phase out for a second. Stay with us. We are live here at Vibetalk Facing the Lion podcast. Did you know that Vibetalk Facing the Lion podcast has its very own Vibetalk After Dark? Send in your dedications, your love songs, your thoughts, and your inspirations, and your memories. Share your story with us. We're here. We're back. And I'm struggling this morning. Why is that? Because I'm on 2 different devices. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. No worries, no worries. Trisha and I, we are working hand in hand, and it's just been such a beautiful thing. Just let me tell you. We are not done with the feelings book, but if you guys are going ahead of us, please do so. We love that. We're so thankful that you guys are doing that, and we're going to want to talk about that. You have something you want to talk about? Go ahead, text us. We'll put it on the air. Um, we're going to ask too that we're going to get into some deep conversations, and we're sure. Vibe Talk has proved courageous by its own right, and I'll tell you why. Because you, as the audience, have come to us with things that you have been dealing with. Some of you have been dealing with some really heavy things, and you're unafraid. That gives us inspiration myself. How do you feel about that, Trish?
That also inspires me actually to talk about how I'm feeling, especially because in Vibe Talk there are certain topics that I'm afraid to speak up about and share my insight of it. But when other people do it, it gives me motivation to speak up about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's why we feel that it's a privilege for Trisha and I to be able to bring you Vibe Talk After Dark. It is affiliated, once again, with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast radio show in the morning. And we do not, by any means whatsoever, ask that you copyright going to be very stern about that because that takes work. And we understand when Facebook says, we need to say we don't own the rights. Trish owns the right to the music of Vibetalk Facing the Lion. It's all her. Now, our dedications, we're going to have to remind each other you don't own the rights. Send in your dedications. You can even start today so that we build the show around feelings. If you go and listen to one of the After Dark, you'll get the gist of what we are trying to do. And I think you're going to feel very inspired. Very inspired. I had the chance this weekend to absolutely listen to some of the podcast as I was putting it together. And it's live. A lot of it is going to have a background noise, but we want to leave it raw and real, unless it's something really crazy. But for the most part, we try to keep it very professional. But we're going to get into some deep conversations, and we ask that, parents, if you're going to call in, please call in and be willing to share. Your parents, and be willing to watch your children who are underage calling in, because when something is raw and real, we want to make sure that the parents are aware of it, of what's going on. We're going to be right back with Trisha's Treasures. We'll be right back. Vibetalk After Dark is on Saturdays on Instagram Live and Facebook Live. Join us there for your conversations and music dedications. We're back, and now we're going to turn it over to Trisha's Treasures.
We have grown a lot as a channel, as a podcast. I think of it as when my siblings, they play with blocks and they try to make the blocks as tall as them. Sometimes they just keep going, they just keep building, add one more block up there and let's add more. And that's what consistency looks like. You keep on adding on and adding on, and when you look at it, it looks like a very tall building. And the saying, the sky is the limit, I feel like that's a brilliant saying that goes with this. Like, we do have limits as human beings because we have our separate lives, but we'll always continue to grow as a podcast, and it takes time. It takes thought. It puts a lot of thought into it. And I remember, like it was yesterday, when I made the outro for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion. I was I was simply trying to say thank you of how it made me feel and what I feel when I come in there. As the lyrics say, every time I come, yeah, I feel the truth. That's what I was trying to show, and my gratitude and thankfulness. And I didn't know, I didn't know that you're gonna say, "Oh, we're gonna use that as the outro," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I need to make it shorter. The same thing that's with the After Dark. It was short, but I had to make it longer. But that happened with the outro just as much, and I was thankful. I was like, you know what? I'm glad I can do something because this is good. This is a beautiful message, and it made me think about when I was in English 4 in high school, and my teacher, she asked me, this is before I even knew what Vibe Talk was. It was in 2020, and my teacher asked me, she said, "So, Treasure, what is your purpose in life?" And I said, "My purpose is to help other people find their purpose." And I did not know that I was going to be doing that on this podcast. Like it made me, I was like, wow, that's insane. That's amazing.
Yeah,
And
that's really amazing.
yeah, that's amazing. And I continue to do it with my music. Even though sometimes, like this podcast, when I post my music, I only get 1 or 2 views. It used to bother me, but then again, I think about it as like, you know what? Somebody's gonna hear it. Somebody's gonna hear it, and they really need that motivation. So I'm gonna keep it up there, because I was at the point where I
Hmm.
said, you know what? This music is not getting much views. I'm gonna take it down. My mom said, don't you do that. Somebody's gonna hear that. They're gonna need that. And even though it's my music,
Absolutely.
yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave it there. Somebody's gonna hear it.
Absolutely.
And I started getting comments. I started getting comments. They were saying, "Oh, this music is very good. Good job. Keep it up." And I was like, you know what? I can't just give up because I think nobody's listening. I have to keep it there because the time that I spent making that music, I'm in it for good, and it's going to fulfill somebody else. I just have to be patient and wait. So, what I'm trying to say is you can be consistent in being yourself, even when other people do not understand where you're going and they look at the picture that you painted for your dream and they say, this doesn't look right, like an abstract. I don't see what you're seeing. I see something else. What matters is what you see and how you grow as a person and the finishing, accomplishing point of the final masterpiece.
Facing my eyes, facing my eyes.
Excellent. Now, what Trish didn't tell you was my reaction to her coming back and and writing this music. It literally made me feel my experience with her music touched me so much that I literally started to cry. Because that appreciation that she talked about, I felt it. You know, we all talk about vibes, but we're going around using the word vibe loosely. See, a vibe is a feeling. It takes you to the point of why you feel. It is not a feeling or an experience of what just happened. It is, wow, that happened. And that's where we are with Vibe Talk. We felt every emotion of what Trish was trying to say. And we're so appreciative of it. Another thing we can learn from Vibe Talk After Dark. We're going to get ranges of feelings. Please be respectful. We do not like to have people judging whomever we bring on, whomever is going to make a dedication. We will share your stories. We will give you the platform. We ask that you be respectful. Because you see, just like Trish and myself, it takes courage, real lion power to succeed. And I agree with what your mom has said. Don't take your music down. Just like with these views, our YouTube pages, guys, Trisha works so hard to put those together. Even if we get 3 people that are viewing those, that's 3 people more than we might have had yesterday. Challenge yourself always with discovery of what you speak into yourself. Believe in yourself. There's an old saying, and it's by Walt Disney. To believe is to achieve. So we hope that you will join us here in the mornings when we're on, and we hope that you will, for the first time ever, listen to Vibe Talk After Dark on Instagram Live and Facebook Live. Just go ahead and please put your music where they can find your music. And thank you. Today's podcast is brought to you by none other than Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Thank you, Facebook, for having us. Now, our last question of the day is, what did you learn in this podcast and discover about yourself? And how did this podcast, today's Think About Thursday, make you feel? Trish, I'm going to start with you. I love to hear you talk.
Okay, today's podcast made me think about how much I believe in myself, and I need to believe in myself more, and I am believing in myself more than I did 2 years ago. And for that, I'm very proud of myself because of that. And my experience here today was it was very reflective because I thought about these 3 years with you and these and how I grew as a person and how I stayed consistent in coming to Vibe Talk and working on me and how I've grown as a person. So that's how this podcast made me feel today.
Appreciate that. For me, Trish, I experienced the same thing you did with the nobody's listening. And there were times I wanted to quit. But no, you guys didn't let me quit. In fact, many of you would ask me, are you going to do Vibe Talk today? And that was the power of discovery, that I understood that there was like you said, a beautiful message, which I did not recognize it, that my voice was being used that way. All I did was speak from my heart through inspiration. So what I've discovered, very much like yourself, is to believe and myself. Whether there are one person or no people standing and cheering us on, somebody will hear it. True to your mom's words. I want to thank you, Trish, my amazing co-host, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for inspiring me to keep going. Thank you for everything you have done in year 2 and beginning of year 3. We are celebrating Vibe Talks. That's Facing the Lion Vibe Talk, our 3rd anniversary. Drop us a line of how you felt and what you've discovered. And don't forget to say happy anniversary. I want to thank you guys for being with us all week. Don't forget, challenge yourself. Accept the challenge ahead of you. Dreams can be a reality. And even when you don't dream, whatever you speak out of your mouth can become whatever you want in the existence. You just have to speak it and believe it. Thank you, Trish, for being with us, and thank you for the audience being with us. We love you, and we like you. Let's get motivated. We'll see you Saturday night on Instagram Live and Instagram, or right here on our very own podcast. Thank you for listening. You are given something to think about on this Thursday. Continue to challenge yourself to keep thinking. We'll see you soon. Because I don't want you just to make a resolution. I was really about to lose it, then I got the vibe with it. I really to the time with it. I really love the ride with it. Really got the vibe with it. Spend time with it. I really love the ride with it. If I see I'm really you, when you get the vibe with it, yeah. When you get the vibe with it, yeah. I gotta just say something. It's about commitment. For those of you who are just coming on, we see you. Hey, hey. And let us know where you're from. This program has been recorded. All of our podcasts are recorded. You can go to our YouTube page and you can go to our Instagram pages. We're there. Just hashtag Vibetalk Facing the Lion podcast. Indiana. There you go. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you next time. Tell us what you think about our podcast.